Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 39 of my Factorio Space Age Guide. So in the last episode, I don't remember what we did. Oh, yes, we set up space science. That is chugging along. We have plenty of materials. Yeah, lots of materials ready to go for this one. In this episode, we are going to start the nuclear process. I kind of think that I might try to do both back to back instead of having normally you would set up some centrifuges to allow to start building up your, what is it, the uranium 235, so that you can get 40 for the Kovarex enrichment process. We're actually probably, I'm going to try to do both. So we're just going to get rid of all these. We need nuclear power. We're going to do Kovarex, and then in the next episode we are going to set up some nuclear power, assuming that I can get everything done in this episode that I need to get done. We're just going to queue up a couple of other things too, because we're going to need some stuff in the next couple of episodes. Okay, so what do we need? Well, we actually need a lot of these. Unfortunately, I only have 12 right now, and these things take forever to craft. So I'm going to actually bump these up. See if we can get these crafting a little bit faster. Do I have anything that can help? A little bit. That's probably still not going to be... We're going to need, I don't know, something like 20 something or other. I'll tell you what, while they're building up, so we have our bots on the way out to the uranium. Let's get some sulfuric acid down here because I really wasn't sure, and in the past I've just used a train, but I think in this case we're gonna just belt it over. The last playthrough that I did was not very friendly whenever it came to piping some of this stuff over. I don't know if I did not see where we were. So I kind of had to... Oh, where did it go? I lost it. No! So I kind of had to train it over because it was so far away. But I think in this case we are going to be... I'll keep missing... Where am I? Jeez. We're going to be fine. So I think if I ride this... We are probably going to need a couple of pumps down through here. So let's get this one... whatever. Why are you not attaching? Oh my gosh. It's not that it can't attach, it's that it won't attach. Anyways, so we'll just let the bots deal with all that. Actually, that looks like a good spot for another pump. Just shy. If I had... Wait, do I? Where is my mall? There it is. I do. You know what? Now's as good a time as any. Let's save a single... Well, that's where I'm at. Why am I getting so lost here? Save a single medium electric power pole for the cost of using our first green power. Why is this not connected? What the heck? Okay, there's something wrong with one of my blueprints. It's gotta be. These are all connected. Whatever, I don't know. I'm looking for the red and the green wiring. You know what? It really doesn't matter. Whatever. Hey, moving right along. Let's continue that. Oh, holding shift. Okay, so how many more whatchamacallits centrifuges have we made? 10? Okay. I just need a couple more, I think. Do I have bots on me? I do. Okay. And I have all this stuff that I do not need in my inventory. Go me. Fine, sure. I mean, I really don't need most of this in my inventory, to be honest. What is it bringing me? Oh, it's bringing me these anyways. Okay, stop. Abort, abort. Don't bring them to me. Go back. 30. That's plenty. I am not gonna bring the tank with me. We'll just hoof it. Okay. So yeah, we are going to start mining uranium. And hopefully the bots will be in our favor and have most of this done by the time we get there. Totally. I mean, we're definitely not faster than they are. Should have brought my own bots to do this stuff. Should have brought my own bots to... There we go. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. They're not gonna be able to attach to anything, but... Okay, so... Oh, I have not done that in a while. This is so much easier in map view, remote view. Okay, so we're gonna need to put some of these down. I'm just gonna copy this and see if things are gonna line up. Tell you what, let's just use that as a kind of temporary template. Because we're going to try to squeeze in as much as we can. Something like that. That'll give us 4 lanes. I don't really care. Okay, I care if it's 17. I was going to say, I don't really care that much if it's not going to cover a lot. I mean, 275 is not that much. I'm fine with 1,000. I guess I'm going to have to be fine with 900 and 400 and say, you know, okay, it's fine. We're just going to leave it like that. Okay, so we've seen this 1,000 times. We know how to set these up. So let's just blast through this super quick. I'm not worried about the materials, like how quote-unquote expensive this is. We are using blue belts now, so... I know there's going to be a lot of people in the comments that are like, ah, you don't need blue belts. You could do all of this with yellow belts. You know what? I like having blue belts. What can I say? Okay, so we are not going to merge these together. So we're going to have this come out. And we are going to set the centrifuges up in a way that... where do they go? I normally don't have these on my bars because it really doesn't matter, but... We're going to do 4 each side. And these will eventually need power. We're not going to worry about that just yet. So these are also going to need to put out onto a belt. And these are definitely too long. Oh, the extra movement speed is great. I love it. And actually, those are probably also too long. Okay, so what are we doing? We are going to be processing uranium. We need sulfuric acid to do that. So you can see the miners look different. So we're going to drag this over here, and we are going to have... Are you kidding me? I just hit that. Where did my... You know what? Just because I can. Yeah, you're going right there. Another way of saving. Okay, so we only need... No! You can see that these all have fluid. This like two-way fluid, so they can attach from the back or the front, or not the front, but the sides. So we only need the groups of columns to connect to this. So this one being out by itself needed to connect, and you can see whenever we scroll over the pipe, everybody's... Let's get rid of the... There we go. So when you scroll over, everybody lights up, and as long as everybody lights up, that means they are all connected to this pipe. Yes, okay. So this is the processing uranium recipe. It's going to bring in 10 uranium ore, 12-second craft time, and it has a 93.3% chance to give us the dark uranium, the 238, and a 0.7% chance to give us the 235. The 235 is largely the one that we want. We can use the 238, but the other one is mainly what we want. So we're going to have incoming and outgoing like this. And everything will be on one side of the belt, and there is kind of a good reason for that. Okay, so do I have any grenades? I don't have any grenades. Rip. But you know what we do have? We have some bots. Let's do our large city block. Just come on, bots, get out here. And then we are going to deconstruct some trees in the area. I'm so glad we're so close to water, because no, don't worry, we're gonna need it soon. There, give our bot something to do. We are going to merge all of these. We're going to do a 4-into-1 belt balancer. So what does that look like? Well, thankfully that's one of the easy ones. There you go. Easy. Okay, so... we also need power. I'm just going to use the regular power poles since we're kind of already over here with the regular power poles. Oh, that was close. I almost didn't line that up right. I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, so these are gonna be going at it. So they need 0.83 uranium per second each. So that's like 2.5, like 2.5, a little bit more than 2.5. This is 14 miners at 0.37. That's about 1 per 3. What did I say, 14? So it's pretty close. So this is roughly what we need. So we are going to have, like I said, everything's going to be on the right-hand side, on the right lane. I think I'm actually going to filter... Can this work? Is this going to work? We're going to filter this one out. On the left. and it is going to merge in like this. So what that's going to do is that's going to allow the dark one to go on the right-hand side and the light one that we want on the left-hand side. We are doing this on purpose, don't worry. I kind of thought that I kind of wanted to do this outside of the range of the bots, but you know what, it kind of is what it is. Let's just, maybe I can tuck this. Maybe we can just set this up here. Okay, so what do we need? For starters, I need an extra centrifuge. I thought it would be enough. It's not. I'm gonna do 15, and the bots can just bring me the extra one. I would love to ghost this down. Oh, there's no way I can get around. Anyways. So I've done this a very specific way. Pretty much ever since I started, and I've used this same way every single time. However, this time around, since I'm making a guide, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and actually think this through. Like, what do I actually want to have happen with this new recipe that we just got, the Kovarex Enrichment process? So what is the Kovarex Enrichment process, and what does it do? So as you can see, it brings in 40 of the light colored, the uranium-235, 40 of those and 5 of the 238 to spit out 41, one extra of the 235 and 3 less of the 238. So basically that converts 3 of the 238, the dark one, into 1 extra of the light one. So what I want to have happen here is we are going to set this up in a way. We're going to have like 15 wide. Actually, I think that is where I want it actually. And we are going to have a rotating belt that comes down. We are going to have this set up in a way that whatever it spits out, it has the ability to bring right back in. And this is all going to have to be filtered, and then it's going to be rotating around in a way that, well, you'll see. It's really hard to explain, but this belt here will come in, let's say here, and it will split off here. We're not going to put any filters on it. I made that mistake in the last time I did this. So we kind of have two things going on here, right? We've got both of these coming in and both of these going out, and we kind of want this to be set up in a way that they're not going to block each other, and that this can just continue to feed into itself. So we're going to use filters, and we're going to have this filter set up for the uranium-235. So it will spit all 41 of its 235 onto this belt, and then bring it right back into the machine, because we need 40 and it spits out 41. The one extra will occasionally go through. It's fine. Sometimes this catches it, sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't really matter. And then we wanted this to be on the right hand side. We wanted the dark one to be on the right hand side, because we want this to stay on, in this case, the bottom of this belt. And then as it loops back around, it would be on the top of this belt, and whenever it feeds back in here, it will stay on the right hand side of the belt. But the reason why we have this set up in the way that we do is because we want the 235 to stay on the inside of the belt. So this is just going to run right into this belt and be on the top lane here, wrap around and be on the bottom lane here, and it will continue to match up through here. So let's see what this is going to look like, and if this is a good enough. It kind of is a good enough spot, actually. Did I accidentally line this up in a good way? It could be more. It could be like one more to the right. Yes, I am. Of course I am. Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Do I have enough of these yet? Come on, bots. There's one. Okay, I definitely have enough of those now, so I'm just going to remove that. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste each one of these. And then this is going to wrap back around up here. Okay, so one issue that you might have when doing it this way, and we're not done setting this up, don't worry. One issue that you might have setting this up this way is that this belt, especially with this the dark colored one, because we get so much more of the 238 than the 235, the dark green versus the light green. I'm just going to call them dark green and light green. Because we get so much more of the dark green than the light green, these belts tend to clog up. So I do know that this belt, so each of these belt segments holds roughly holds 4 of each of the item on each side. So 8 total, but we're only going to be focused on the 4. So if we have 27, 6, and 26, because I didn't count. It's about, I think it's like 240 whenever I kind of did the math. So I'm going to do something a little funky. I'm going to connect this entry point here. We're just going to connect it over here. Why not? And I'm only going to focus on the bottom one. I only did it up there to make it look nice. Really, it just has to be connected. As a matter of fact, I don't even know. Does it even have to be? Oh, it kind of does. I can't just enable it without it being connected to something. Anyways, we're going to only focus on this one. And we're going to read belt contents, and we're going to hold all belts. So you can see the whole belt just lit up. So it is going to be reading the contents of this belt. And we are going to enable if the dark one is less than 100. So what is that going to do for us? So once 100 of those enter this line, it is going to turn this belt off, which means that nothing will be able to come through the splitter. That's going to do a couple things for us. One, that's actually going to largely prevent any of the light green one from coming in and going down these lines. Because this belt will be turned off more often than it is turned on, and we get so few of the light colored ones. There's one over there. We have one in our inventory. We get so few of them that there's a good chance they won't go down these lines. Is it possible? Yes, it is. What does it matter? No, it doesn't. Because at some point these will get clogged up and they will just have stuff on this line anyways. I suppose we could priority input right. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to leave it as is. So we have a way to get rid of the light green and bring it back in. We also need to be able to bring in, let's say, dark green here. We need to be able to bring in stuff here as well. And then this is the important one. We need to filter this one to only be the dark green. And this should work out just fine like that. This one, this is the only place that we need this, is at the front. So we can copy all of this. And this is our build. So how is this going to end up working out in the long run? So we are going to actually copy this 3 times. This is the full build. I can't believe how, not kidding at all. I accidentally I did not plan for this to visibly fit nicely like this. I was, planning on placing this and having to adjust it, but whatever. It is what it is. It worked out. So what is going to end up happening is this is going to first fill this guy up. I think I might have actually accidentally done this better. Okay, so it's going to fill this one up, and it's going to continue to rotate within itself and fill itself up. So this will hold up to like I don't know, 80, I think it's like 82 or 84 of the uranium 235 before it just really starts to overflow. But occasionally the one extra one will squeak by, and that will get picked up by this guy. I think that I might have had these filtered for the dark ones, but it's really not necessary. This is going to be fine the way it is. The way that I did it in my testing, this one ended up being the first one to collect, but... Oh, no, 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 no. Nope, sorry. I remember. Now I remember why. The whole reason why we are limiting... The whole reason why we are limiting this belt is so that we always have a place for the dark one to export to. So this belt on the bottom will always be open. Okay, now that makes more sense. Which means that the input for these guys will have to be on the top. And that is why the one on the end is going to fill up second. So this guy is going to fill up first. I guess technically I could just, you know... No, because I need this on top because the dark one is going to be largely piled up here. Okay, this is fine. This is going to work. So anyways, what this is going to end up doing is this one's going to fill up first. It's going to do its thing. It's going to take a really long time for it to oversaturate, and once it does start piling out onto this belt, our light one is going to come up through here and get snatched by this one, and then it will do the same thing until it overfills, and then the extra will come into this one, and then these two will back up to here, these three will back up to here. Once all 5 of these are filled, it will then push its contents onto the next one. However, we are also going to be bringing in material here. So once this one oversaturates, the light uranium coming in this belt will then dodge this one and continue onto this one. So this will not be fully saturated before this one starts, hopefully. So let's get this turned on. Can I even... No. Yes. And that is our Kovarex enrichment process. So we can give this guy all of our contents. We can get rid of this ore. Look at, it's already, excuse me. Oh, because it, okay, whatever. It's fine. We're actually just gonna go grab that guy back. We could like Okay, so once this gets saturated enough, you will see that the back end stops moving. There. So now they are clogging up here, but this is saying, oh hey, there's more than 100, so we're going to disable this belt. So that leaves this bottom belt completely open. Oh, I'm going to have to redo all of these too. Whoops. Am I going to get that lucky? Like I am. Okay, is everything going to work out now? Yes? No? Maybe? You can see that nothing is backing up here. It will, so we are probably going to have to set some things up to prevent this from, like, really backing up. You know what, let's just do that now. It's going to be really janky, but that is perfectly fine. Can I set this up in a way that is not going to be overly janky? What if... Okay, that should be the same. No, 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 no. This needs to be filtered. This one does not, because this one is filtering. Okay. So then if it starts to back up too much, because what will happen is if this clogs up too much, then these will not be producing the light green one that we need. And we need this to be open so that these will continue to create the light green ones. So yes, this is kind of a buffer for the dark ones. What are you doing over there? And we could definitely use the nuclear power soon, so yes. You kind of needed this extra space. Like, you don't want to wait until you get to here to start working on nuclear power, because these things are power hogs, and just the whole process of getting nuclear started is kind of rough on power. So the earlier that you can get to it, the better. Hi, Future Auto here. So I was thinking about, like, after this episode, I end up making a quite large nuclear power plant. But after I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? Like, I always have a situation where I have to come in and manually adjust some of these to try to spread them out. And then I was like, you know what? I wish I could just automate it. And then I was like, you know what? I think I can. I think I can probably automate this in a way that I don't have to worry about it. So we're going to fiddle around with this and see if we can make it, well, without having enough of the light green uranium. We're going to fiddle around with it and see if we can make it set up so that we don't have to have a lot of manual intervention and not have a lot of just extras hanging out. Okay, so what does that, like, what do we need to do at that point? So we are going to circuit connect this inserter to the centrifuge, and this inserter, and then also this inserter to the centrifuge. So what is going to happen is all three of these, we're going to need to read hand contents. And for each one, this only applies to these these three here. For the others, it will just be 2. So it'll be this one to here, and then from the centrifuge to this one here. So within the centrifuge, we're also going to read the hand contents, including in crafting. And we are going to tell all 3 of these, or in the case of this one, all 2 of these. We're going to enable if the uranium-235 is less than 40. Because what would normally happen is, hold on, I'm going to copy and paste. Don't paste onto the centrifuge, because if I were to paste onto that, it would do the exact same thing, and we do not want that. So what that's going to do is, because every single one of these crafts 41, the inserter here, or this one here, will spit out as much as it can hold. This one, since it can hold the same amount, will collect everything and put it back in, including the 1 extra that comes out. So that 1 extra will feed this machine again. So we will end up with enough material for probably 3 centrifuges to be running. But it'll all be packed into one. We would rather have it spread out so that each one of these is making its own extra, rather than this one being, like, you know, pooled up and ready to go. So this should work, but another problem that we're going to have is that since we're making this one only enable when the uranium-235 is less than 40, that's going to cause problems where it will, if this centrifuge has 40, it will then stop collecting anything that this one was collecting. So we're probably just going to have to add another inserter to allow it to continue to collect the dark green ones. And this should work. I'm not going to, like, I could use the editor to, like, really kind of test it out, but I'm just kind of assuming that that's going to work at this point. So I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to paste them onto the last ones. the one in the front, I'm going to copy that one, copy that one separately and paste in here. So now this one can collect the dark green, and these three are solely here for collecting the light green ones. You will not see this. You will not see it like this in the next episode, or even, you know, after this tiny little update and we get back to the video. You will not see this in the next episode when we create our massive nuclear power plant. But you will see it in the episode after that. It was after I made the nuclear power plant that I was like, okay, I need to see if I can find a way to solve this problem without having to come out here all the time. Also, if you, just as a quick note, like, we set the dark green up like this. We were kind of aiming for about half, so it was fine if it would have come back here, but you want this line to be at least as far back as this inserter. Okay, that should be it, and back to the video. Yeah, so that is going to be it for this episode. In the next episode, we are going to set up a massive, and whenever I say massive, I mean a massive nuclear power facility. Yes, quite hefty, quite large. It's a good thing that I already have a lot of this cleared out. We're probably, I don't know if I have enough room to do it here. I might have to do it up here. You know, let's just give ourselves the extra room. Let the bots start doing their thing. I really should just, every time I queue up science, wow. Every time I queue up research, I really should just tack one of these onto the end. Can I get any more train? I don't see it. Is that all? Okay, that must have been all the train speed. I do not see any more on here. Sorry, not train speed, braking power. Okay, so I might as well toss these back on. Nope. At least do it in the order that we want to have. Okay. Go gadget bots. We are up to 6. This is going to take a very long time to saturate. And we will have nuclear ready for it when it does. Alright, so that is it for me. Maybe one last thing. Yeah, why not? Okay. That is it for me. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.